Let us begin. Good morning, colleagues. I'm Nikolay Fokin, Director of Security Center of our company, and we're going to talk about the security efforts in the existing conditions. First of all, we use different services. We pay our bills, we order some products online, we use different application software in our corporate systems, and software is one of the hackers' targets. Also, they attack the supply chains of the software, they try to interfere with it. And the second problem is that in today's reality, many vendors have left Russia, and we have to talk about the updating of this software. So we want to talk today about the new approaches, how to make our software more confiable and safe. As to our company, LANIT Integration is a multifaceted company. It is a member of the LANIT group. We work not only internally, but we provide services for different industries and companies. We also work in the sphere of information security. We provide turnkey projects. We research different systems of information protection and validation of these systems. I give the floor to Alexander Sokolov, who is going to lead this workshop, and he will tell us about different solutions. Good morning, colleagues. I'm going to tell you about 3 topics that are of interest for us. We're introducing them and we work with it. We are going to consider the so-called DevSecOps, different scan systems, ACA, dust, and etc. And we also are going to talk about the sandbox for companies and for the public institutions, and we're going to consider different databases from our colleagues. What is our general concept? This is a big pipeline, 3 steps. This is safe development, permanent protection of the codes and updates through the sandbox, and also limited access and monitoring of the database. Let us pass to DevSecOps approach. This includes all the methods and advantages of DevOps, and it introduces at each stage of development the permanent check of and we're also working in cooperation with different public organizations like FSB and others. What are the advantages that if we are talking about the DevSecOps? First of all, to reduce the potential threats to our applications. Second is reputation risks that can appear. And at the same time, we are talking about the compliance with different different approaches. We also expect from DevSecOps the clear code, the frequency of code, everything passes into scalability. And if we talk about the scalability, we can provide software to different environments, and we can apply this to servers, etc. Let us look into the DevSecOps solutions. First of all, we should look into the types of scanning. First of all, this is CA, composite analysis, done before the design of the product. And we have a project. Programmers begin to write the code. We should use different libraries. It can be taken from open source sources and other libraries, but it is important to check the integrity, etc. And this is when CA is employed. SAST is the statistical analysis, and in this case many programmers ask how to check a small model and small script. SAST is what provides this, and it is implemented at all and deployed at all levels and all steps of the programming. And after releasing the product in the market, we applied the Dust technology. Dust can check an application or a software, and it can be deployed at a server. Now let us look into detail. What is the main advantage of the CA? Because of this we can get rid of the backdoor vulnerabilities. The microphone is not working, sorry. The microphone is not working, sorry. So we're getting rid of these libraries in our project. Sasha, please go on. Thank you, Nikolay. So now the main function of CA is to protect the supply chain of our code. Now let's look into a unique solution in the domestic market. This is a product of our partners of scoring. This is an integrated platform that can be connected to all DevOps platforms of this name. And so we have a good opportunity to control it and to work as a team. It is possible to control the licensing process to see whether libraries are vulnerable or not. And so we can sort out all of the libraries to check their vulnerability and to continue our work with them. Now let's talk about SAST technology. This is a statistical analysis of the source code, a very useful technology because it allows us to cooperate among the whole team, and we can check the vulnerability code, we can check it immediately and to test it. After completing our work with the library, we can go on through our pipeline, and this is where SAST appears. It allows to reduce vulnerability and to get rid of risks later when we get out to the market, because it is cheaper to improve our vulnerabilities before sending the product to the market. Now let's look at the Western analog, so-called Sonar Cube. This is a benchmark in open source products, and it supports quite a number of languages, and it's compatible with all DevOps platforms. And this is both a web interface and a local interface. It helps to scan big and small and different other projects. And it is very easy to mount it in the pipeline, and it allows to cooperate with small and medium-sized enterprises. SaaS solutions, by the way, that have been used in the market by different companies. They left the market, and we are mentioning an open source product just because the main task now is to the import replacement, so substitution. Now let's look at the dust technology. We introduced dust technology when we already hit the market and when we deployed the applications. These solutions allow us to simulate the possible attacks at our applications and to test our vulnerabilities, whether the server or the internet pages, which can violate our integrity or our work. And also I can add that quite often it is not possible to check everything at the stage of the initial code, at the stage of the development, because many projects are integrated into the environment, are integrated with different services, and when this or that application is deployed, Dust can help a lot. It can pass through the whole application landscape to simulate different attacks, and we're talking about the top 10 attacks. It can check the web, the API, and through this we provide the coverage for the whole project, the source code, the libraries, and we then check the whole application already integrated into the environment. Now let's have a look at a very bright example of WASP West. This is a benchmark in this class of solutions. Even our colleagues show it in their reports as a benchmark. They compare this with the WhatsApp, and this is a big scanner that can provide reports on all vulnerabilities and threats. It allows us to work with the different threats already after hitting the market. Now let's pass to another product from NICT. A product from NICT. It is another open source product. It allows to scan our web servers that are located, for example, in our information centers. We scan the servers for vulnerability, and this is related mainly to a human factor. It can happen that an employee forgets to close the port, and this is a vulnerability. Through this port, our applications can be attacked, and this port is related to other open source products. For example, Polismera. Polismera is a product placed on a machine, and it is related to other products. We can check our applications for vulnerabilities, of web servers and of applications. Also vulnerabilities that can be checked with protocol HTTP, HTTPS, and maybe mail protocols. Now let us imagine the following. Sometimes our fantasies can become realities. So if we put three types of scanning in just in one solution, what can happen? And this is a mix of CA and SAST, and it allows us to scan all libraries that we use, and in the process, when we develop a new application, we can also scan all vulnerabilities. It allows us to very easily get into our working pipeline. With this reporting, we can definitely check all our vulnerabilities. Now, let us turn to our domestic developments. Positive Technologies present their unique product, UI, and this is a big platform that allows to work jointly for leads and for programmers who can follow everything very closely. Also, probably some managers that are interested in supervising the reports. And this is CA, SAS, and DAST reporting, and it allows to work both in the local interface and in the web interface. It allows us to check and to control all the vulnerabilities and threats. Colleagues recently have received the certificate from Stack. Now, let me pass to the demonstration. I'm going to tell you about the most interesting products. Let us feel like and see how it looks like.
Let us start with the product called WaspSub, which I have already mentioned. I have already highlighted that it's a very reputable benchmark. Accordingly, we witnessed our virtual machine on which it is deployed. I apologize for that. Let us perform a display on the ready code. It will be involved in the vulnerable application with some changes in different levels of security. And respectively, some of the diverse projects received from GitHub will also be engaged. And we're also going to showcase how to use the tools which we have mentioned in order to perform this check. I have opened everything and now we are ready to scan all that. Let us opt for WaspSub products. Let us select the attacking mode. The attacking mode will enable us to validate our application in terms of their vulnerabilities. We'll immediately attack our application. Let me show you this attack. We will witness our progress. Our attacks will be operated by different threads. Oh, that's it. Our attack is on. Let me show you our platforms. It's a vulnerable platform. It's an open source product. It fits into this demonstration in a wonderful way. Let me log in and demonstrate the full range of its functions. Well, as for the left-hand side, you may see all the potential threats which may be operated. This platform is rather bulky. It is embedded. What are we interested in? We're interested in the protection rate of this platform. We may select the protection mode. It means the force this application may apply for protection against our attacks and threats. That's the impossible level. Let us select the low level in order to operate as many threats as we can. we confirm it. Let us take a look at the report issued by our product called Atavaz. Dear colleagues, we have identified 5 threats of medium level. Let us discuss them. We see the absence of anti-CRF tokens. It's a rather popular vulnerability, and the perpetrators may send the requests to our server from the trusted browser and device, and therefore they may send both ordinary requests and also malicious requests. And these requests, and we also see that we lack anti-hijacking title. Clickjacking is also a popular vulnerability. For instance, when we use a website and a banner may pop up, it may mean that you have allegedly won a large sum of money, and there are some invisible elements. And once you click onto them, they will function. I may show you the example of their operation cohesion. There will be an invisible CRF operation which will be performed by perpetrators. The perpetrators will send the malicious requests to our website and trying to operate it. As for each vulnerability, we get a long report from WhatsApp. It corresponds to each vulnerability. This documentation is kept, and the records are kept in this documentation. And we may review the attack on our application in high accuracy. We may also hand it over to our developer teams. They may actively safeguard it. Yes, let us speed up a little bit. Let us now move on to code scoring product. It's the national development. It is a large integrated platform. Let me reiterate that it will enable us to control the entire process of development and composite analysis. Well, we see the interface here called scoring. Let us now move on to dashboard. Dashboard is our main panel, which shows the statistics on all the projects in which we are operating, which languages are supported, which licenses are granted for our products. We have uploaded our SIM code on GitHub. That's the immense platform where we have uploaded diverse projects. The matrix is written in JavaScript programming language. Let us move on to the menu of these products, of our projects. Let us turn to our projects, which we have uploaded on GitHub. And you may see the reports on air, they are broadcast. Let us conduct the composite analysis. Let's launch NCA, and now it's going to check all the libraries used in our project, as well as links to them with respect to vulnerability and the way it may be operated. Let us open it. Let us open the scanning history. Our scanning is over. Our software has spotted 45 landings of the code, and therefore they have identified 5 vulnerabilities. Let us turn to the report again. It is time to resort to the report, and respectively, we see the list of our vulnerabilities, I mean the vulnerabilities of different libraries. And how can these problems be solved? Here are the vulnerabilities. Our counterparts may also take a look at the description of all the threats. There is quite a number of vulnerabilities operated by our application. And definitely now I would like to move on to the product developed by Positive Technologies called BTIA. In order to make it more illustrative, let us move on to the startup mode of this product. It's the statistic mode. It presents the full and accurate statistical data on the projects we are managing. and potential vulnerabilities. Let us filter them. Let's take a look at the number of vulnerabilities in a particular project. And now, accordingly, let's take a look at this project. We have detected 2 vulnerabilities in this project. There will be a report on error. It is written in C# programming language. The report is presented in HTML project with the full set of documentation. There are detailed error reports. There's also an interesting Google project, and the programming language is Java. Well, it was found out that there are 4 high-level threats. Let us take a look at them more thoroughly. For instance, we have the vulnerability which is labeled as a high one. There are some WebSocket issues, and it will invariably get the detailed description of the error and the way to redress it. Let us get back to our presentation. And let us keep discussing the products. The next product is checking the update of the software, so-called sandbox. What does this sandbox actually mean? The sandbox is an opportunity to check the finished version of the application and to launch it in the simulation mode, and where it will be launched and scanned for different threats. And as for this context, we're going to tackle our partner's product called Avasoft Athena. Athena is a vast integrated platform. It brings together different functions in terms of rolling out new update, overlapping our finished solutions. The goal of sandbox verification is as follows. It's the check of applicable software update, which is received from outside. It is also focused on checking the system update of software, and it also validates the distributive functions we have. This allows us to use this update and to make this process more reliable and safe. Sandbox enables us to do it because it makes it possible to place this soft into the emulated environment. It is controlled by different operating systems. All this is executed automatically, and it may also check the files which enter the system. It is rather convenient because this enables us to embed them into the mailing services and postal services, and they may be sent from other protection services, and this enables us to check the files received from the infrastructural facilities. Yes, exactly. I would also like to highlight that our WebSoft colleagues provide a detailed toolkit of dealing with the mail traffic, and there are also some links. Let me show the product of our colleagues. Let us enter Athena, where our product is placed. Let us tackle the resources. We have large infrastructural facilities, so-called virtual machines. We may focus on any of them. Let us open the demo booth. That's how it will look like in reality. For instance, we have our engineers who are elaborating on our projects. Our virtual machines are available where they deploy demo booths or software. That's how our screen looks like. Engineers may enter them and work here, and we are in charge of monitoring. Let's imagine the following situation. We are to update the software, and since there are a lot of attacks which are targeting the obsolete software, the foreign market players are withdrawing from the market. Thus, we have the software which is not supported. It is outdated. When it comes to stack, starting from January the 1st, 2023, it stated that it is mandatory to continuously control safe development. For instance, if the CI facility cooperates with the developers, they have to undergo the test for the level of security. How can we actually adhere to all these conditions and regulatory standards? For instance, we are going to update the systemic software on the computer. A clone of this machine, of this virtual machine, is established. And this virtual machine is used for launching the sandbox mode. There is this software is installed, and afterwards we may issue a verdict whether this software is malicious or not, or maybe it's 100% safe. How did our application respond to that? What's the configuration? Was there a match? Let's take a look at the report and the analysis. We have performed the statistical analysis of the application called Ultra ISO. Ultra ISO is an applicable software. Let us take a look at the way it was made in practical terms. Our soft provides diverse and large-scale report. It undergoes a lot of antiviruses, and there were 10 of them in this case. And according to the verdict, it was absolutely safe. And the indicators also showcase all the finished indicators. It's 100% safe. And it is illustrative. We may see the sources of this verdict. What were the sources of these threats? What are the potential sources of these threats? How was it analyzed? And eventually, it was figured out that it is completely safe. As for the dynamic analysis, it presents even more functions. Let's open the same file, which we have already looked into. As I have already mentioned, we are looking at the update of the software. Our colleagues from Avasoft provide both the verdict and the recording of the way it was implemented. And as for the image shooting and recording, the system may automatically enter the virtual machine and deploy the update or install a new software. And actually, it is updated without our involvement. It's fully automated. It is installed, and two versions are compared, the previous one and the new one. And following the installation, the video is over. Since the installation is over, and it issues a verdict whether this software is safe or not and ready for use, it means that it will not be detrimental to our configuration and infrastructure. And therefore, I would also like to show you another different case. It is related to systemic software. It is called CoreTem. CoreTem gives the information on the temperature of our processor. We also take a look at the video of the research. It may be represented in the image mode. That's how it happened, and the following verdict is issued. This software is safe. It complies with all our safety criteria and general security criteria set by the regulatory authorities. And now we may familiarize ourselves with the statistics of our research, whether the conclusions were either rather positive or negative. If there was something suspicious, it may be the middle ground. We may now get back to our presentation, and I will proceed. I will proceed with this slide. Excuse me. I will proceed with the topic of effective control, audit, and monitoring of databases. When it comes to current business reality, there is no point in building large services without databases. A lot of databases are available. We deal with all of them. We deploy them. They are of different kinds, but they are united by the following feature. They may be operated. They may be broken. This may enable us to destroy our infrastructure, to operate our infrastructure, to destroy our functions. That's the National Development SGART-KBD is a large embedded platform. Our partners provide 100% control and monitoring and database protection in real time. We may carry out audits and sift through all the events occurring at the databases. They also provide thorough reports and monitoring of enhanced privileges in these databases. The most famous vulnerabilities are called SQL injections and some others. This allows us to calculate whether or to estimate the locations of the threats and possible operation. This enables us to do it in advance, and this enables us to trace the abnormal behavior of databases. Let me demonstrate SCARDA solution deployed by our colleagues. Let me show you the video. Although the platform cannot upload it, we are ready to demonstrate it. Now we'll see how we deal with our deployed databases in real time. How do they function? Let us also check the commitments and the alterations made in these databases. It is shown in the video. Oh. Let me demonstrate it once again. That's the main menu where we witness the chart. Now let us press onto the deployed databases. What is their status? Who has developed them? And now let us move on to the main menu. Which commitments were made? In this case, there may be some corrections or some data may be aggregated. Some of them correspond, some logs correspond to particular employees, and they're demonstrated in isolation. Some data are used for filling the repository, and this enables us to monitor the last events. Let us also open the policies. These policies are the underlying mode. In this case, it enables us to illustratively show the behavior of the application in the regulatory compliance mode. Definitely regulatory authorities, especially tech mode related ones, set their robust requirements in order to abide by the audit of databases. Everything should be controlled, access should be controlled, everything should be recorded. It's the common requirement which is specified in almost all the documents. Yes, that's right. And also we are recording and logging all the actions performed in the databases. And the regulatory bodies may get the detailed reporting on the way our business is on, how our database is deployed, to name a few. And in this case, you see the requests in databases, which users initiated them. We can witness 100% control. What time did it happen? On which date was it occurring? And in which fields and which spaces were this recording records included? We may also select different reports on the violation of different rights, on creating new users' accounts, on changing the users' accounts. Let us move on to the next section. It's called scanning section.
In the scanning section, we look into classification. Classification means the correspondence to different nodes in the database. The whole product allows not only to monitor all the products that enter the database and different violations, but also allow to scan the databases and to see if there are any errors or violations on the basis of the policies and algorithms that are kept in the product itself. For example, if we have a certain business that work with the state institutions, and there is a database and the ID data of individuals, for example, passport number and other ID nodes. So it is possible to monitor what were the nodes, and who has addressed and who has tried to interact with this data, what were the users. The most important feature is that it is possible to see the attack on this database. Different vulnerabilities were involved, And even if we lost the control over this database, we can look into check the log and see where this vulnerability had come from. So let us sum up the results. Of course, these are not all the solutions that can help in developing and designing the business, developing the database, safe database, etc. But at least it can solve about 80% of all different tasks and problems and issues. Also, we reduce the risks of financial or marketing or reputation losses. Thank you very much, Alexander, for this demonstration. We appreciate very much your presence here, and your questions are welcome. The microphone is not working, no translation. The question is made without the microphone. Yes, this is a good question, and so far we haven't seen a new update from our partner, and we cannot comment this. But in general, if we are talking about the containerization, here there are two main tasks. First of all, to protect the media itself, the environment of container building, containerization. And the second is the scanning of the containers themselves, vulnerability check and the correct configuration check. Vulnerability can be of two types. First and second, these are mistakes of the development and mistakes of the adjustment and settings. Please, another question. The question is made without microphone, no translation. Yes. As a matter of fact, we mentioned from the very beginning that the instruments that we are showing here is not this is not a complete set of instruments, and the work of an application is an important element. So the scanning and the benchmark application helps to get rid of vulnerabilities, and the part of the products that can be done, that can do this. Alexander has shown this. This is outsourced, open source products, for example, and this allows to scan the infrastructure. We're talking about the web applications, which are the basis of the software. And the second part is the hardening of the structure. It is necessary to do. In this case, we check the configuration of the software, and part of vulnerabilities has to do with the structure. We can add headers on a part of servers, and this allows to eliminate part of vulnerabilities. Thank you for your questions. Any more questions, please? Well, colleagues, if there are no more questions, thank you very much for your attention. We are welcome to our stand, and we will be able to tell you more and more in detail about products of interest.